Today's lesson will be a Blind Willie Johnson song, his most famous song called Dark Was the Night, Cold Was the Ground. And this song is in Vestapol tuning, so that's open D, the tuning for which will be below for each string. And what I'll do is break this song up into two different sections that comprise the entire recording. And I'll start with the first section and play it first and we'll go over it. Then the second section I'll play it and then we'll go over it. And then talk a bit about it at the end. So what I'll do is then just go right into that first section. Section starts with a slide up on the 7th fret, and immediately, actually I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, I should start with that motif that he does. That's done on the 3rd string, and what you do is start on the 3rd with a bit of a slide from below, then up to the 5th, back to the 3rd, open, and then up to the 7th. Remember to use a lot of heavy vibrato throughout the entire thing, and that kind of goes for the entire song as well. As per usual with Blind Willie Johnson, he'd use a lot of vibrato. Even still, before we get into the treble part, one thing that I'll mention is that he kind of uses almost an Eastern style of drones with open strings throughout the entire song, which is why it's so useful to be in Vestapol open tuning right now, because he'll play drones mostly on this 3rd string, but he'll play them, you know, as the song goes on with almost all the strings. So you can try out using all the open strings, especially the bottom string, the 3rd string, the 5th string, and the 6th string. Just get your fingers used to hitting those strings. Okay, so now getting into the actual melody. And I guess now we'll kind of back away from the accompaniment that will go on, assuming that we'll be kind of hitting those open strings throughout. One thing that's really essential to the Blind Willie Johnson sound is that he'll often do these double approaches. So notice how I'm going in, sliding down and going back in again. Then hitting a bit of vibrato. That's just something to keep in mind. So starting on that 7th fret, then down to the 4th, 2nd, then open, and back to the 4th. Again, 7th fret with the double approach, then all the way up to the octave, then up to the 5th, 7th with the double approach. Okay, so now going over that again, but with the drones that he'll play. So you'll notice right there in between I stuck in a 3rd string. Right, then again. Okay, and that's where we are. So now there's a bit of a chord change, so he'll play the 2nd string, open, then slide 2, 3, 2 on the top string. up to the 7th, double approach. Again, same move. Then 3-2-0. And that, what I did right there, was a pinch on the 3rd and 5th strings. Sliding up on the 3rd, then up to the 5th. Then up to the 4th on the top string. A couple hits of that 5th string. Then the same pinch, but now 7 to 5. And then same move, 3 to 5. So again, that last part. Same motif to finish it off. And this isn't really meant to be a note for note tutorial, rather it's just what he'll do in general throughout the song. So for instance, with this motif, sometimes he'll play it like this. Other times he'll play it like this. On the second last, actually the last time he plays this motif, he'll play it on the top string. Okay, so that's the first section. Now we'll go over the second section. It's a bit different, and when he first gets into the second section in the song, you'll know it's that section because he'll start to sing. And what happens is, throughout the song, he'll alternate between this first section and the second section, and back to the first, then to the second, back to the first, and to the second, until the song is done. And that's really all the song is. So what I'll do is play this second section right now. So what he'll do is start on, rather than the 7th fret, the 4th. Okay? Then slide 4-2-0. Okay? Then go way up to the 9th fret, then up to 12. And then slide back to the 9th and then the 7th. And something to remember there is that once you get up to the 12th fret, it's just one pick. And the cool thing about that is you get a sort of mystical decay sound, which is a lot of what the Blind Willie Johnson sound is. Then what he'll do is go up to the 7th, and then do a double approach into the 4th. Same slide to the open. Then this lick is, I think, the most interesting lick that he plays in the tune. He'll play it just on the top string, and just play that. And it's all on one pick, and what you do is start on the 3rd, but what it really is a double approach into the 4th, then slide up to the 5th, and then to the 7th, or sorry, 7 to 9. And it's kind of hard to do slow-mo because it's all on one pick, but one thing to remember about this, which makes it a bit more challenging, is that you can only play this on the one string. If you accidentally include that 5th string, it doesn't sound right. Rather, you just want it to sound on that top string. So then what you can do is actually tilt your slide away from the fretboard, and that'll help isolate that top string. And your slide will probably end up hitting the neck and make a sort of sound there. But if you actually listen closely to players like Fred McDowell, Blind Willie Johnson, etc., you'll probably hear them do the exact same thing. And though there's no video footage, it's probably safe to assume it's because they were doing the exact same technique. So with this lick, I'd recommend that you just start by playing it slow, without vibrato, just to get the muscle memory in there. Then what you can do is start adding in the vibrato. Okay? Then what comes after is a really similar, actually it's the same double stop that was played in the first section. Then the same move following. Double approach into the fourth. Then 5-3-0. And then that's pretty much the second section. You just finish it off with that motif. Okay? And just so you know, like I was saying before, this isn't meant to be note for note. And you'll notice that he'll play a lot of add-ins and a lot of variations that you can only really get if you start to listen to the recording, studying it, and also adding in your own stuff. For instance, he'll do something, and I don't think he'll actually play this part on the guitar. He sings it, but just to emulate it on the guitar, the variation that he does, he'll go like this. So then you hear it there. He slides way up to the 15th, 14, then 12. So that's one idea that you can add in. But in the end, there's almost limitless things you can do with this song, which is why it's so great. Now, just talking about some of the techniques and how to better emulate his sound. First of all, with the right hand, you can start kind of adding in the percussive aspects of the song by how you pick the treble strings. You've got to remember that with Blind Willie Johnson, his sound was very delicate, but at the same time very punchy and almost bitey, but at the same time, like I said, very delicate. So for instance, when he plays that first section, it's so light, the slides are so subtle, yet they're there, and he adds in that very beautiful vibrato. And one of the ways that you can add that bite into it is how you kind of come off the strings on the treble side, kind of hard, rather than, you know. Now, I might be exaggerating it a bit, but you get the idea in that way. The second thing is, he plays it lightly and at a pretty brisk tempo, not too fast, but at the same time not too slow. So this is a song that you'll really have to internalize and get all that quick vibrato and those double approaches to get the right sound. And remember, listen to the recordings and all that stuff. add in your own stuff, remember all the drones. There's a lot to think about with this song, but once you get it, you can start to build towards truly emulating Blind Willie Johnson's sound.